It's Friday night. You know what time it is. It's time for NBA picks and props. Dexter Henry here live on the Props Network. Another week, basketball's back. The last time you saw us, we were talking about the All-Star game, and Brian was trying not to fall asleep as best as he could. But we are back to talk about actual basketball, not exhibition or contests going on. We're back to talk about a lot that's going on in the world in basketball, and we are under 2 weeks away from the trade deadline. So there's going to be a lot of talk around a lot of things and how those are going to move the odds and everything. We got a lot to talk about tonight in terms of looking back at some odds and predictions that we had early in the season, looking at some of tonight's games. You know the usual. We got to parlay or not to parlay. Keep it 100. But introduce my guys first. Let me check in with my man Brian. Brian, how you doing? Hopefully you're not falling asleep. I see you are sitting up today, not laying on the couch, looking like you're about to fall asleep with an extra pillow. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great. It's 65 degrees outside. That means it is time to break out the Air Force Ones, the greatest sneaker ever made. I was excited about that because, I don't have to worry about rain and snow and all this shit outside anymore. So, we're trending in the right direction in terms of weather. So that's uplifted my spirits a little bit now.
Thanks for making me feel like I'm still at work with all the weather talk there. Yeah, thanks. That really helps. Checking with my man Murph. March Madness is upon us. We were just talking before the show about how I haven't really paid attention. Me and Jarod, we haven't paid attention to shit in college basketball this year, but we know you're plugged in. How excited are you for the tournament?
I'm excited. It probably will be a shit show, as people have been saying. There'll be some forfeitures maybe. There's already been cancellations in the league tournaments, but I'm watching right now as Georgetown is about to tip off. See if they can steal a bid. That's all I'm about right now. Let's see if Georgetown can steal a bid right here.
Yeah, steal a bid and put some respect on my man Patrick Ewing's name. Got people walking around MSG like they don't know who he is. What's up with that? Jarod tweeted something about that last night. I was like, what's going on with that? Jarod, what's good, my man? I'm glad you brought to my attention that Patrick Ewing is out here getting disrespected in the world's greatest arena.
You see, man, this is why y'all Knicks fans can't have nothing nice. How you gonna be disrespecting one of your legends, man? I mean, it's either him or Clyde Frazier, the greatest Knicks of all time. That is some downright shameful shit in Madison Square Garden. And number two, Brian, don't get too amped on this weather thing. It's about to snow on Tuesday. Sorry to rain on your parade.
Yeah.
You know what? Fine, whatever. I'm just saying I got the rest of the week. Look, I'm already pissed because we're losing an hour this weekend. All right,
but it's daylight, baby. You got more sunlight.
I'm happy about that on the back end, but I'm just gonna be pissed that on my Sunday I'm gonna look up and think it's 5 o'clock when it's really 6. Like that's gonna be annoying.
It's not that bad, Jarod. I was hoping you did not mention what the weather was going to turn into next week.
My bad.
I'm on top of it.
I was gonna say you are tracking geostorms and shit.
I'm not happy about it. Look at my face. All right, guys, we're gonna talk some basketball. I'm glad everybody is well. And enjoying the good weather while it lasts. So when we started off this show right before the start of the season, myself and the guys, we talked about we did a lot of predictions, I should say. We looked at over-unders. We looked at who's going to win the conference, who's going to win the title. We looked at all the awards. We did that. But this segment we're going to do to kick off the show this week is called How You Feelin'? Right? We want to look at some of these future picks that we made in that first episode before the season and see how we feel about them now. Now, I've picked these. I don't know if the guys went back and watched their comments. I did. And people had some interesting quotes on this. So I'm going to start this off with, we're going to do a couple of teams, then we're going to do Western Conference Finals picks. The two teams we're going to talk about, one is the Celtics, Jarod's favorite team, and that plays in Brian's favorite city that he wants to live in. And we're also going to talk about the Atlanta Hawks. Yeah, Brian, we know how much you love that. Now, with those two teams, we're going to talk specifically about their win total, the over-under win total. Now, the Celtics' win total was 44.5, guys. They're currently at 19 wins, okay? I thought it was pretty interesting what some of you guys said and how you decide to pick. Jarod, since you are the resident Boston fan here, do you remember what you picked? Have you looked at it? Do you remember? First of all, do you remember what you picked?
I mean, I know I started the segment by saying "fuck the C's." I know that.
You did not go. You weren't that aggressive that time, but that's pretty close. That's pretty close. The sentiment was still felt. Yeah.
So I probably went with the under. Or I was like, or it's like a push is what I'll guess.
You actually said over. You said you actually would take the over, and you said, quote, and bang the over.
Wow.
Quote, yes.
You know why? Because I love Jaylen Brown. That's why. That's why I said that. Dumb shit.
So you said bang the over. How are you feeling about that now? 44.5, they're at 19. How are you feeling about the Celtics' chances if you are about winning that bet, if you've got them right, if you took that bet before the season?
I mean, in the remaining 35 games, they got to go 26-9. That's a 75% winning clip. That don't sound too great. The one thing I will say is that schedule-wise, they have the league's third easiest schedule in regard to opposing team offenses. So that's a good thing because their defense ain't been great this year. I mean, for a Brad team, that's kind of suspect. I mean, but look, I'd be worried, right? 26-9. That's far better than what they've done all season. So they essentially have to transform into a different team second half of the year. Now, Marcus Smart is back. Kemba Walker's getting healthier, so it's possible. But would I feel comfortable about that? Hell no.
Yeah, and there's some projections that have them projected to finish 41-31. So if you took that bet and you're looking at those projections, you might be a little bit short. Now, Brian, you had the most interest. And do you remember what you said?
Look, we do podcasts that like immediately after I'm like, I don't remember what I said.
This isn't good. Would you like me to read the quote of what you said about the Celtics?
Oh shit! All right.
Yeah. We got to do it. This is Brian.
I'm sure I went over. I know I went over.
Quote, I'm going to take the over because I think they can get to the Eastern Conference Finals and NBA Finals if everything breaks right. To which Jarod immediately responded and said, they ain't even going to the conference final. So
hold on.
This is your time to defend that and see how you feel about that pick now.
So I did what TV people would call a bitch move, but what smart people call a nuanced move and hedged. And I said, if everything breaks right.
It ain't breaking right.
And it has not broken right because one, obviously the Kemba Walker thing, we've talked about that how many fucking times on this show already.
Right.
And then with Marcus Smart's injury, Jason Tatum getting COVID and actually feeling the after effects, and like it's actually broken quite wrong in the complete opposite way. And all that considered, maybe they should deserve some sort of credit for being where they are, because I think things could actually be a lot worse. But there's no chance. I give them maybe a 2 to 5% chance that they can get the over going the rest of the way because of how good they're not because of how good their schedule is going to be, because it's not going to be that good, but of how good they'll have to play, which is basically 26-9, like Jarod said, in order for you to get that money. Like that's not going to be possible. I do think that what would help is some damn size and some depth. Like we focus a lot on Tatum, Brown, Kemba Walker, and now Marcus Smart, who's back, but really they have nobody on the inside. Like we never talk about Robert Williams, we never talk about Taco Fall, who doesn't really play for a reason. They need an Andre Drummond, or maybe even a LaMarcus Aldridge, though I'm not sure how much he would help. He's better than what they have, to sort of help them on the front line, and they have the trade exception to do it. But
are you still going to say it with your chest that they're going to the Eastern Conference Finals or the NBA Finals? It doesn't sound like you're saying that.
Well, I don't think that Andre Drummond or LaMarcus Aldridge or any sort of trade will point them in that direction. Again, things just have to break right for them. And look, between now and then, like, I don't know what's like. We still got some COVID to get through. You know what I mean? Like, we still have some injuries, so I'm not.
Are we sure the LMA Time Lord potential duo is better than what they got right now?
So LMA looks a little washed to me, but I would say this: he's better than what they have. He's better than Daniel Tice.
Give
the Time Lord.
Tristan Thompson hasn't really been that good either, and I expected more from him. Jeff Teague as well. Like those were two free agent signings I was optimistic about in terms of coming off the bench.
You said that in that episode.
You were high on Teague.
Peyton Pritchard is outplaying Jeff Teague. Like what?
I mean, that's not
that makes the fan base. That makes the fan base happy. I'll tell you that. The fan base likes that.
Jeff Teague ain't that good. Come on, man. Y'all know this.
Yeah,
but he should be better than Peyton Pritchard.
Listen, man, when Peyton Pritchard plays in Boston, he gets superpowers. That's his superpower.
That's right. Murph, you also, it's funny, everybody, and I'll say Murph also said, he said over, but stay away. You said, Murph, you said, quote, it was too close to call and the injuries bothered you with the Celtics. So you told folks to stay away, but I think you said if you had put a gun to your head, you would take the over.
Are you
with the are you with the rest of the guys in that you're not, if you made this bet at this point, if you had done this, you put your money down, you can't be feeling good about your chances on this one, right?
No, it's a wrap. It's a wrap for that. And obviously, they've been one of the most disappointing teams in the NBA this season. I think they're going to be better than they were in the second half. They'll be better in the second half than they were in the first half. Marcus Smart is back. He's a huge deal in terms of them winning games. Kemba's getting a little more healthy as time goes on. You're right. They still don't have a real big man. They still need help in that area. They're probably like the 4th, 5th seed in the East, when it comes down to it. So no, there's no chance in hell they're gonna get to that number. So I apologize for getting anybody killed.
You know what, Murph? You know what I like about that? The accountability there. I like the accountability there. He's like, I apologize if I messed up your money. I'm sorry. I make it. I was the only one of the 4 who said take the under on this. I said take the under.
Oh, that's why you chose this team. I see. What about the Knicks?
Well, I picked the over on the Knicks. You and I, we did good.
All y'all picked the over the Knicks. I'm the only one that went under.
Yeah, so it happens. I wasn't just trying to make myself look good. You know why I picked this topic was because of Brian's comment. To be honest with you, I thought Brian's comment on them. He said it so much with his chest that they would go to the conference finals and the finals. And Jarod was like, "No, they're not." By
the way, again, hedged, and it still could happen.
That's fair. And you know what, Brian? I did not mess up your quote. I did say the whole quote. Did what you said. Shout out to Brittany Zamora, who's checking in on YouTube. She said, laughing her ass off, make these guys accountable for their bad picks. You're damn right I am, Brittany. I'm going to make these guys accountable for it for sure. All right, the Atlanta Hawks. This is Murph's team. So, Murph, we're starting with you on this. We know you are the Trae Young fan. They were at 34.5 wins. They're currently at 17 wins. Now, for the sake of this conversation, to move it quickly, everyone said the over. All 4 of us said take the over, but we all said we would stay away from this. We all said that we would stay away from this. And I want to read Brian's quote because I think there actually was some really good stuff on this. Brian, you said, I would lean to the over, but I'm going to stay away. I think this all could blow up. Feels like one of these situations where you win the offseason and then it doesn't work out. Jarod, you said, I think it's a stay away, but I'm going to take the over. I would take the over as well if I had to do it. This team should make the playoffs, but if they don't, Lloyd Pierce, gone, and Travis Schlenk better start looking for some new jobs. That playing range, they have to be in there at least.
Listen, we're clairvoyant, man. We knew.
We nailed that shit, Jarod.
Everybody. Now, all you guys said over and stay away. Is there any chance that any of us can look wrong and bad on this down the stretch?
They would have to go 50-50, right?
Yeah, 18 and 17 the rest of the way in order to hit it.
Does anybody trust that?
They've done it. They've done it to this point to some degree, right?
It's tough, man.
And they have a better coach. They have a better coach right now.
It's still a stay away.
Why you killing Lloyd like that, man?
I mean, he's more proven.
It's still stay away from me. I'm still very, even though they're 3-0 since the firing, I'm still very skeptical of the long term or even short term Trae Young, Nate McMillan pairing. So we'll see.
Real quick, some stats for you. 4th easiest schedule in the East remaining. And the Hawks are 1-5 in rest disadvantage games this season, which are of course games where they're back to back or the team they're playing against has more than 2 days of rest. They're the league worse than that. Newsflash, they'll have to do that 3 times the rest of the season. Those 3 times include Cleveland, Detroit, and Orlando. Those teams are also terrible. So if they could just hang through and beat them crappy teams, they got a shot to go 18 and 17. Do I still want to bet on that? Hell no.
Yeah. Right. And I wanted to ask something about like easy schedules and things of that nature, right? Like all the teams are kind of bunched up this year, so I feel like that stat may be like a little wonky right now. I mean, granted, Detroit, Cleveland, and Orlando, by that point, Jeremy Grant might not even be in Detroit, and if Jeremy Grant's not in Detroit, they're gonna lose every game, probably for the rest of the season. But still, like I just wonder about that in terms of strength of schedule because all the teams are kind of bunched up for the most part.
Murph, you have any optimism for the Hawks? Like, would you feel good if you took the over here?
Yeah, I think it's like a 50-50 proposition at this point. I give him a shot. Like I said, I'm serious. I think McMillan is a better coach than Lloyd Pierce. I was rooting for him to do well, but it was when I noticed that McMillan was on the staff that made me a little more confident. And now he takes over. He has experience. He's taken teams to the playoffs. I was a little worried preseason that they were putting all these this mismatch of players together that it kind of looks good on paper, but when it comes down to it, would these guys really fit together? So far, not so much. But they're 3-0 since McMillan has taken over. That's a good sign. I mean, what else do you want? So I feel okay. Like if I were to put money at the beginning of the season and where we are now, I'd be okay.
Okay. All right, not bad. All right, moving on to the last thing we're going to talk about in this segment, the Western Conference Finals picks. Now, myself, Jarod, and Murph, we all picked the Lakers and the Clippers to make the Western Conference Finals. Bryan had the Lakers, and he said he was going to go with the Blazers. He wanted to take the Blazers because he liked the odds on them at plus 2,800 before the start of the season. However, since the season has started and we've done this show, we've talked a lot about the Clippers. And what do I say about the Clippers, Jarod?
Clips gonna clip.
Clips gonna clip, right? So with that being said, Bryan, this doesn't necessarily apply as much to you because you chose the Blazers to make it there. Do we feel confident that Lakers, Clippers, the odds on that matchup in the Western Conference, we feel confident about that still because of what we've seen from the Clippers?
I mean, it's tough, right? Because we don't know AD's injury situation. That's the first thing with the Lakers, right? So we're like, what's going to happen to them? But if both teams are relatively healthy and nobody moves, I do still feel pretty confident about Lakers Clippers. Now, however, the Jazz do have the easiest remaining schedule, and they've had the best injury luck of any team so far this season, injury and COVID. Well, if they have even slightly worse luck, that's okay because, again, they have the easiest schedule in the league the rest of the way. And again, as I said on previous episodes of this show, the Jazz, more than anybody, have to be the number one seed. So they don't have to go through both, right? You don't want to have to play the Lakers and the Clippers against the conference finals because you ain't making it, right? It's one or the other. So the Jazz got to lock themselves into one, so they only got to worry about seeing one of them come conference finals time.
Gotcha. Bryan, you had the Blazers. Are you still a believer in that long shot?
More than Utah, yeah.
Wow. Wow. Just any way you can disrespect Utah. The disrespect to Utah.
So the thing with Portland is that once again, like Yusuf Nurkic just fucking breaks his elbow like in the middle of the season. It's always something with them. Zach Collins got hurt, and Zach Collins is kind of an overrated player to me at this point, but he's somebody who's supposed to be relevant in helping them. Like they've just had a whole bunch of things injury wise. CJ McCollum is the big one that he's been out for a while. And, I'm actually optimistic about how they've handled that. Like they've actually tread water pretty well. And they're still like firmly in the playoffs in the Western Conference right now, which is also a tight race. I'm looking at the standings right now and they're sixth. So like, I don't feel awesome about picking them to make the Western Conference Finals, but I don't feel great about anybody really in the Western Conference because, like, all right, Denver's looked, okay this season relative to what we expected. Clippers going to clip at some point. Do I believe Phoenix is really like that level yet? I have to see that, but Phoenix is probably the team that's like right there to me. I trust Phoenix more than Utah because of the dude who wears number 3 on Phoenix. And then the Lakers, like, we'll see what happens with Anthony Davis. But right now, if I had to, like, sort of rearrange my pick, I might go Lakers Suns at this moment.
Wow. Okay. Murph, are you as confident in that Lakers Clippers pick? Because, as Jarod pointed out, there's some things to be shaky about on both sides here.
Yeah, I'm still kind of relatively confident about it. They still have the talent to get it done. They still have Kawhi. They're in decent, they haven't played badly, this season so far. They're still towards the top of the West. Might be one of those situations where, last season it was like almost we expected it. It was a given. The Clippers were going to make the Western Conference Finals and play against the Lakers. Now nobody's talking about the Clippers. people are doubting them, including me. Doubting them, and this will be the year. This will be the year that they actually at least make it to the Western Conference Finals. So, I'm still, I still think it's a solid possibility. And I'm not mad at making that wager at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, no, me either. I still think it's pretty solid, but I'd feel better knowing if Anthony Davis comes back and he's healthy and he's playing well. That probably makes me feel better about the Lakers on that end. And then the Clippers, we'll see. I just think they're going to clip at some point, So
I would love for them to get Kyle Lowry. I would love for the Clippers to get Kyle Lowry.
Let me tell you.
Yeah.
If
they get Kyle Lowry, I'm in.
They go into the NBA Finals. Forget about the conference finals. They go into the NBA Finals.
I might be going with Jarod there. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Book it. Yeah, you also said book the over for Boston. I gotta hold
Which
you
surprised me. I thought Jarod went under.
Yeah, I thought so too. When I looked back that Jarod went over and said that quote, I was like, "Oh, okay."
It's my love for Jaylen Brown. It's irrational, and it clouded my better judgment. I should have just started off by saying "fuck the C's" and gone with the under like I usually do.
That's generally your energy. That is generally your energy. All right, good talking, guys. We'll do this more throughout looking back and seeing how we feel about some of these picks as we move forward throughout the second half of the season. But we're going to look at the Friday night games. Games tonight were all right. Pick 3 tonight. First game, the Nuggets are at Memphis. They are 3.5-point favorites. The over-under is 227.5. Maybe the Nuggets can make a push. Memphis seems to always be hanging around. I still don't even understand how they are around 500 and what they've done this year. People need to talk more about that coaching job. Brian, I'll start with you. Nuggets coming in here. They want to make their mark here in the second half of the season. Memphis wants to get itself into better playoff positioning, even within the play-in. Who do you like here in this matchup tonight? Does Jokic continue his MVP level style of play?
He probably does, but I think I'm actually rolling with Memphis.
Ooh.
I just like how they've played lately. Jamal Morant has reached another level, at least the last few games. He had a 6-point dud not that long ago against Houston, but since then it's been 35-10, 35-5, and 21-10. And one of those games was against the Milwaukee Bucks. So, Jamal Morant's been great. Jonas Valanciunas, like even when they have their team, you know what I mean? Their full team when they're healthy. I think he's a perfect center to complement Jaren Jackson Jr., John Morant, and those guys whenever they, sort of develop into the future. But I think Jonas Valanciunas is somebody who's going to give Jokic some problems and make him work hard on the defensive end. So I'm actually rolling with Memphis in this one.
All right, Memphis in this one. They're 3.5-point underdogs. Here, Murph, are you team Grizzlies on this one for the 17-16 Grizzlies, or you like Denver in this matchup?
This is a tough one. Both teams playing pretty well as of late. Denver's 6-4, last 10, 5-5 against the spread. 4-game winning streak, probably the most important. But Memphis is playing well, also 6-4, last 10, 7-3 against the spread. I love what Ja Morant is doing. He's coming around, dominating like we kind of thought he would, and he's been a little slow ever since he had that ankle injury. I think in Brooklyn, right, is where that happened. Mm-hmm. So he's looking a lot better. Looks 100%. And they're the home team for this game. This is a close one for me. So I'm going to go with the home team. I'm going to take Memphis to cover the +3 here and probably get the win.
You like that over? What do you think about over under, Murph?
The over under to me, stay away. The trends are going in both directions, so I can't really get a good feel for this one. I would stay away at 229. All
right, staying away at 229. You were high on the baby Grizzlies last year, Jarod. Nuggets have 63% of the handle in this game, but we just heard Brian and Murph talk about they like the Grizzlies in this. What do you say to this matchup?
Well, first of all, shouts to the Grizzly Cubs and my boy Triple J, Jaren Jackson Jr. He'll be back soon.
He's in the league.
Why you got to come for my guy? What's up with that, man?
You're gonna get an update on his status later this month or early April.
Yeah. It's they're being super cautious. Look, the Grizz, as Murph said, 7-3 in their last 10 versus the spread, but they are 4-5 as a home underdog, which they are in this game. Nuggets are 9-5 as road favorites. I'm with Murph staying away on the over-under because it's tough to tell, but I love the way Taylor has his team playing without Triple J on the floor. Ja's sort of, coming into his own, like, as a player. Still need to work on that 3-point shot, but that's coming. I like the money line here and taking Memphis outright.
Wow, I love this. Everybody taking Memphis. I thought I was going to be the only one of this. I'm with you guys. I like Memphis here. They've been playing good. Ja has been playing on another level. I think he can give problems for their backcourt. I totally see that. I like him at home. If I had to bet on this game, not even forgetting the spread, I'm with you, Jarod. I'm going with the money line. I'm taking Memphis outright. I just have a good feeling. I like how they've been playing. They handled business against the Wizards the other night. So, I like them to roll here. All right, all four of us agree on this one. Memphis over Denver. Everybody likes it. That's good. We all agree. Nobody said anything ridiculous. And there was no anger. There's no anger from Jarod O'Brien.
Well, except that Murph had to come up my guy, Triple J.
He did. No, he did. There was a
They're being super patient with him.
Yeah, it's almost like you think they were trying to tank, but the team's not tanking. So they're definitely not. All right, next matchup. We got Brian's team. Y'all know who that is, the Miami Heat. They are 2.5-point favorites against Chicago. They're in Chi-Town. The over-under on this is 220.5. Brian, we'll start with you. Is Miami, is Heat culture trending upwards at this point of the season?
Well, they're 12-4 in their last 16 games, so I don't know. You tell me.
Oh boy!
We didn't even need to hear the numbers. We could just see that you're smiling. That tells us everything we need to know.
Look, Bam is injured. He'll be back soon, presumably, but he's injured right now, and he's going to be out again. But Jimmy Butler has taken things to a whole different level. 22-9-9 since he's returned from COVID, and that's a 15-game stretch. And he's only shooting about 45% during that stretch, which isn't bad. But he's getting to the free throw line about 10 times per game, hitting about 85% for the foul line. I think that he's going to lead them to a win over Chicago. I'm hesitant on picking the Bulls in general, as good as they've looked occasionally at times this season. But to me, this seems like Miami is a safe pick. And as far as over-under, I mean, Miami's 6th in defense, so I could see this being under, even though the over is not really – it's just 221, really, so when you're looking at it. But, I would probably stay away from the over-under portion of this, but I would obviously leave Miami here.
Obviously, Miami 78% of the bets.
It's the Bulls
against the point spread. But maybe you want to factor in. I mean, how much does that Myers Leonard stuff affect the Heat culture? Maybe the Heat culture not as united as we thought they were. We got certain people running their mouths online saying all kinds of offensive stuff.
Wild stuff.
Leonard. Well, wild stuff. Jarod, I'll go to you next. Are you buying the Heat culture trending upwards in the second half and keeping it rolling against the Bulls in Chi-Town?
Yeah, look, man, the Heat have one of the softer schedules second half of the season, as evidenced by playing the Chicago Bulls. They're going to get on a run here. Jimmy has been playing well since he's returned from COVID. I like the Heat easy in this one. Stay away from the over-under, though, just because, Zach LaVine will probably go off anyway, and he might just hit some late threes that'll mess that up for you. So I like the Heat.
Liking the Heat. All right. Then Brian's smiling even more. Murph, are you liking the Heat too, or is this another upset special?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Brian's squad, the Miami Heat. 8-2 last 10, 7-3 against the spread. Chicago playing, pretty well, 6-4, and also 6-4 against the spread. Like you said, Bam is out, so it gives me a little pause. What gives me the most pause is, they don't have the great Myers Leonard tonight. We know he's such a game changer. But he's busy. He's busy, live streaming. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna let him go.
Being an anti-Semite on live stream.
Yeah.
Hey man, So hopefully they fix that little culture situation there in Miami. But the Heat are very focused right now. They know they have to make up for that slow start. Jimmy Butler's playing. That's the most important thing. He's going to make sure that they get this win tonight. As far as the over/under, I would stay away. The Miami trends lean under. Chicago trends lean over. And to me, that equals stay away. So. But look for the Heat to get this done.
Yeah, I too like the Heat over the Bulls in this in terms of the spread, or if you just want to take them outright. I also would stay away from that over under. But the thing I'm most interested in, guys, is I would love live footage of the next time Myers Leonard sees Mickey Aronson. That would be quite interesting.
Awkward
Of a conversation.
He'll probably be on a different team by then.
Yeah, I think so. I think so, man. Because owner was born in Tel Aviv.
I also didn't know Udonis Haslemberg was a thing, so we did learn that in the middle of this also.
Well, I guess we learned a lot. Not sure if Myers Leonard learned a lot with his whatever that was. That sort of apology. Yeah,
that wasn't even.
Yeah. We know. All right. Good luck with that, Myers Leonard. Our third game of the night. We got Indiana Pacers. They've been struggling a little bit before the break, but a lot of it has to do with the fact they've had a lot of injuries, a lot of guys out. Karis LeVert, as a note, will be returning on Saturday for the Pacers, so they will be getting a bit healthier. TJ Warren still on the mend for them. They're playing the Lakers. They're in LA. Lakers are 4.5-point favorites in this. The over-under is 216.5. We've heard from LeBron about how he's not taking any days off in the second half, no nights off. He's really going for the MVP, but I think he's got a little work to catch it now. Murph, do you like the Lakers to get things rolling here in the second half? Is this a win they should get at home over the Pacers?
Yeah, I mean the Pacers just haven't been good. The Lakers in the last 10 haven't been good. They're 3-7, 4-6 against the spread. The Pacers 4-6 and 3-7 against the spread in their last 10. But we all know the Lakers are the better team here. LeBron is rested now, from the All-Star break, so he'll be ready to go do his thing tonight. I think this is a pretty easy -4.5 pick to go the Lakers' way. As for the over/under, I mean, just the 216.5 seems low, period, for any game in this day and age. The over is 6-0 in the last 6 Pacer road games. The Lakers trends kind of favor the under, but I'm gonna go over here because that over/under just looks low.
Yeah, it is. That is low at the 216 there. Jarod, what do you think about that? Any tantalization in the over/under? Because I think that low number had me thinking about it a lot too. And it's one you think the Lakers should win, but the Pacers can put up some points.
Yeah, see, that's the thing, right? It's like it's drawing you in, like, this seems like an easy number. I'm staying away from that over/under just for that reason. Look, both teams have been ugly heading into the break, right? As Murph just pointed out, and we know what time of year this is. It's LeBron propaganda season. He put out the video on IG. Their family that works out together, whatever, all that jazz. Then he was in his media availability. I'm not tired. No days off. It's like, all right, here we go. Look, I mean, honestly,
you coming at the king?
Exactly.
You best not miss. You best not miss.
Exactly. Look, if you're a LeBron propagandist and you believe in that stuff, roll with the Lakers. They should beat the Pacers here. But I just don't like how either team is played going into the break. And with the layoff coming out, what's the rust going to look like for both sides? Like, who was wilding out in Cancun? Who was in South Beach, like not fully ready? I don't know. So this game's weird to me. I'm just staying away.
Stay away for Jarod. Let's not touch this. What about you, Brian? Do you like the spread? You like the over/under? How would you bet on this game?
I'm finding the Lakers to be a little more unpredictable as I continue to watch them throughout the season, but I'll go with them here because I can't really talk myself into Indiana right now. If this was 11-7 Pacers who got off to a good start and Brogdon looked like an all-star and Sabonis obviously looked like one and he was an all-star, then maybe I would lean Indiana even without Anthony Davis or especially without Anthony Davis. But no, I would lean Lakers here over under. I would probably lean under because of the trends that Murph laid out earlier, but I'm not entirely confident in that either because I could easily see this going the other way. So I would probably stay away from the over-under aspect of it, but I would still pick the Lakers. But I'm excited to see Karis LeVert make his debut tomorrow, though. I think that will make Pacers a little bit more interesting in terms of betting moving forward if he could sort of fill out that Victor Oladipo void that they haven't been able to address yet.
And also for the Pacers, right? No AD for the Lakers, man. Miles Turner, that stretch 5 might start raining down threes. Like, what are the Lakers doing defensively on that?
And Marc Gasol's out.
They might be the PJ Tucker team, so we'll see.
We'll see. Marc Gasol out for COVID protocols.
Damn.
Kyle Kuzma's day-to-day. So it's interesting how that will affect the Lakers. That's why with that, I'm a little bit iffy on that over-under, although it's tantalizing there because I just don't know where the Lakers are getting some of these other points for. So
LeBron said he's ready. LeBron's ready. Don't matter. Second half of the season, no rest.
You know what, man? You know what? I ain't coming. I'm not coming at the king. I'm not going to be
the Pacers give up points now. They give
that is true.
About 112 a game.
That's it. Right. Which makes it nice and prime, right in that range of if the Lakers can score enough around that, which they can. And they're ahead, we'll have to hit free throws late. That's why it gets really tantalizing there. So it's a tough one with the over-under. I would go Lakers here. minus the 4.5. I think they'll be energized. LeBron seems like he has a lot to prove. We'll see how it is, but as Jarod said, it is propaganda season. It is this time of year where a lot of people talk, and we're kind of like, let's get to the playoffs at this point and see what people are really made of. We saw a lot of chirping from a lot of other people, and then they end up hitting the side of backboards in the playoffs and whatnot. So
Damn.
it is
a lot of these regular season narratives that people fucking forget about later on.
Hey, I'm just saying, people talk and then things happen. That's what I'm
George
saying.
Brian, get you straight.
Brian, you are right. You are right that there are a lot of regular season narratives that people forget about later on. I just want to remind everybody, if you're watching, you like the show, please continue to support us and watch each Friday evening, 6 p.m. on the Props Network, NBA Picks and Props. The four of us are on here. Also, if you like the other shows on the Props Network, be sure to subscribe to the Props Network YouTube channel. And if you are NBA bettor, which I would assume if you're probably watching the show, then the best way to look at all the odds and comparison is with the Props Network player tool. You can look at all the props player tools. You can pick the players, compare them, the games, compare them all side by side, all the odds from all the different betting houses. So the NBA props betting tool is the way to go. Please check that out at thepropsnetwork.com. All right, guys, to parlay or not to parlay. I tried to find some interesting ones this week with a variety of different odds to play around with. Here's our first one. Let's start with some teams that aren't so exciting. The Bulls and the Magic both to win tonight. The Bulls are playing. So let's start with the Magic first. The Magic are playing. They're at San Antonio. The Bulls, we know, are hosting Miami. Do you like the chance? I know a lot of us. We all were Team Miami. We know Brian is. But is anybody? What do you like the chances of this prop? Would you take it? Would you be tantalized by the odds at 650? That's kind of tantalizing. I know we don't necessarily believe in the Bulls here today, but if you were to do this, would you do this or would you stay away? Jarod, I'll start with you.
I mean, the 650 makes it seem like it's good value, right? But then you look at the matchups and you're like, Bulls and Heat, Magic, Spurs. Neither of them two winning tonight. Hell no, I ain't doing this.
I like the strong hell no. That was almost with the same. I was almost with the same energy as fuck the C's. Brian, I gotta think you got to be out on this too because you have no confidence in the Bulls coming up against the Heat, even though Bam is out.
Well,
yeah. Oh, okay.
Well, here's the thing. I'm more confident in the Bulls portion of this than the Magic portion of this, actually. Because the Orlando Magic, I just don't see them like winning that many games moving forward. And the Spurs have actually been pretty good. Like we can say what we want. Like, yeah, they're gonna give away, Rudy Gay potentially, and LaMarcus Aldridge is gonna be out of here. Like, look, Spurs have been pretty good. They're entertaining. DeJounte Murray, Keldon Johnson, been saying it all season. Lonnie Walker, somebody else whose name is escaping me that I really like, and I can't fucking figure it out right now. But the Spurs they're good. You know what I mean? And the Bulls are a better team than the Magic, so I would feel better. Derek White's not the guy I was thinking of. He's a little bigger. Who the fuck am I thinking of? DeMar DeRozan. Yeah. That wasn't quite Peyton Pritchard being the white boy that I forgot, but it was pretty bad too. Yeah, I'm more confident in the Bulls part of this, but I'm not taking this, even though the 650 is tantalizing. It's just not enough for me.
Tantalizing, not enough. Is that the same for you, Murph? Tantalizing with the odds, but you don't believe in these teams.
Nah, yeah, I don't believe in these teams. The Bulls, like Brian, I think the Bulls probably more likely to win than Orlando is. Orlando's 3-7 in their last 10, and it's Orlando. So no.
Yo, I like that. I like that some of these responses were really short. Hell no and no is all you needed to know.
Hey, I like the city of Orlando, though. I'll say that much.
A lot of Puerto Ricans out there. Yes,
yeah. We out. You already know.
My wife got like 50 family members out there.
You got to go out with your peoples. You know how much you love Florida, Brian. Be out there with your peoples.
I would like to, but here's the thing. I don't know when Florida's going to be underwater, so I'm not too confident.
Not in your lifetime. Not in your lifetime.
I agree. Hopefully not. Hopefully not ever. But whatever.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Yeah, well, there's a lot. There's a lot in
right.
All right, guys. The next parlay, I'd be out. Just for the record, I would be out in that parlay too because I don't believe in either of those teams. But just because the odds were tantalizing, I was hoping maybe somebody would bite. But no, LeBron and Donovan Mitchell to record 3+3s made. LeBron says he's focused. He's not taking any rest. Jarod, are you going to come at the king? Are you going to believe in this parlay here? Are you going to do it? And we know Brian hates Utah, and they're playing the team who's probably playing the worst basketball in the league right now. So what do you think of this parlay?
Listen, he may be not taking any days off, and he's ready. Is his jumper also ready? Because it wasn't looking great tailing into the All-Star break. Is that 3-point shot looking good, or is it hitting front rim? We'll see. I mean, it's tough, right? Three plus is a lot for him. But when he was playing well and shooting well from that point early in the season, I take it. Donovan Mitchell could anytime heat up and go nuts from three, but it's a tough one. But at plus 250, the question really you're asking is are the odds worth it at plus 2? Right? Is that enough value to go ahead and toss some money down? And it's just like, if this is like a plus 350, I'd be like, yeah, I'd do it. Even plus 400, plus 250, I'm like, it's not even worth it, man. Barely 2-1.
Yeah, barely 2-1, and Mitchell can be streaky.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, and that's kind of my thing there. LeBron can be motivating. He'll get the looks. But I don't know. Yeah, Murph, are you in on this? Gerard's out. Are you in on this with the odds at 250?
No, it's the same reason. The odds. I don't like the plus 250. It's not enough. It's not enough of a payout. LeBron has hit 2 threes in two of his last 3 games. But it was 8 games. He was 8 games without a three without 3 threes prior to that. Donovan has 3+ threes in 2 of his last 3 games. Also, he's the more likely guy to depend on here. But the odds alone, will force me away from this one.
Yeah, I can see that as well too. What about you, Brian? Biting on this or not?
It's more of the same. It's more of the same for me. It's just the 250 is not. It's too low. Like I think that because LeBron's a part of this, this should be plus 400 at least, even with Donovan Mitchell as part of the bet. But this is just not high enough for me. Although I will say LeBron making 2.4 threes per game this year is the most he's ever had. I actually think he shoots too many threes, but that's another story that kind of annoys me with this game right now sometimes. But it's just not high enough for me. Plus 250, no, I stay away.
That's where I'm with you guys. I'm with you, Brian. He shoots so many threes, but because he takes the attempt so much per game, you would think there's a chance, maybe he gets hot one night. But Murph said, that's 8 games ago since he last had a 3-pointer game. I think that's what they're betting on, what the houses were looking at. But my thing is, well, then why would you not make the odds up a little bit better? That's where I'm also with Jarod. If you do that, maybe you would have me in. Even 350, like Jarod said, 400. You might have me in on this and take a chance. But this is the reason we discuss this stuff, because this is how, when you're looking at these parlays, how you might want to think about whether you want to take it. These are the decisions people have to make every night looking at this stuff. So, hopefully it makes you think more in terms of the stats and how you're going to put your money. And if you put your money on Boston to get that 44.5, or just blame all them guys, you ain't got to blame me. I'm good on that. They ain't got to blame me. Sorry, guys. Next parlay.
Throwing him under the bus.
Under the bus and backing it up. That's pretty bad. Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murphy to score 30+ points. This is at plus 1,000. And I felt like, of all the parlays we're going to talk about tonight, this was interesting. And the reason it's interesting to me is because of what we talked about earlier, how Jamal Murphy has been playing. He's been playing really well. We know what Nikola Jokic has been doing all season. Brian, plus 1,000. Very tantalizing. Ja's been playing well. Jokic's been playing at MVP level. Do you like this parlay?
So this is actually a no-brainer for me. I'm taking this. It's not a no-brainer. Okay. It's not a no-brainer from the sense that I think they're both definitely going to do it. But it's a no-brainer because it's plus 1,000 and I can see it happening. Like, if I put down $1, I'm getting 10 if this does happen. And John Morant has done it twice recently. We talked about it. Once was against Washington, sure. The other was against Milwaukee. Now he's playing Denver. Denver's defensively worse than Milwaukee is. And on some nights, they're worse than Washington is. And Jokic is a little more like, he's just sort of back and forth. Like, granted, he's gotten 30 points more often than John Morant has, and John Morant was hurt earlier this year. But if you look at his points in recent games, they're all over the place. There's a 13, a 50, a 35, and a 12, all back-to-back not that long ago. And recently, there's 24, 19, 39, 37, and 20. Like, it's just very difficult. But I could see this happening, so I would take this bet at plus 1,000, even if I'm just putting $1 on it, although I would probably put a little more than that.
All right, Brian only puts $1 when it involves violence. We know that. Murph, Are you intrigued by this at all enough to get in on the action?
Oh yeah, I'm jumping all over this one. I love this one. Plus 1,000. Two guys who have both scored 30 plus in 2 of their last 3 games. Got to take it. In fact, where can I place this bet? Because I'm gonna do it right now. Where is this?
This was on BetMGM. I saw this one on BetMGM.
All right.
Yep.
I don't know if they might not let me here in New York, so I might have to find an overseas spot. But that's you got to take that. Like Brian said, plus 1,000 for something that could easily happen. Something that both players are hot. Jokic's been hot all year, like you said, and Ja's coming to his own. It looks like he's looking different out there the last couple of weeks. So yeah, that's a great find.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was the one that intrigued me. When I saw it, I was like, yeah, for what Brian said, really, right? Like, I can see this happening, and I can't believe the odds are what they are. I mean, could I see it? Could you see some of these guys getting 28 and 27? Yeah. I know Jarod always likes to talk about the close bad beats, right? That you'll always have. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could see that, but I wouldn't be pissed if you threw a couple dollars, as B said about this, on this. Are you getting in on this action too, Jarod? Even though it's a possibility, this is like highly likelihood that you have a bad beat on this. Would you get in on the action on this one?
Yeah, I'm with the fellas on this. The odds are too good, right? Plus 1,000. You got to throw a couple dollars down, like for all the reasons that everybody said. Look, do I think it's very likely to happen? Probably not. But at plus 1,000, how do you not do it? But the thing is, both are capable of doing it, right? It ain't like you asking, I don't know, Rajon Rondo to score 30 points tonight, right? Like, Jamal Murray could do this, and we know Jokic. I mean, if not for a man named Joel Embiid, he might be the MVP frontrunner right now, right? So very, very possible that either of them could do it. So I definitely get in on this.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. I think this is a good one. This one is just tantalizing. Like Brian said, why not? I mean, why not? Even if you threw a couple dollars, it can't hurt you. You know, Jokic is ranked 3rd in most NBA bets players today. So like, he always gets a lot of action. Anything involving him is really interesting. And we know he can get the points. We know he can get the assists. And Ja right now is playing another level. And I forgot who said, I think it was you, Murph. Yeah, you don't trust that Nuggets defense. They've been pretty awful. That might have been you, Brian. You can't trust the Nuggets defense. They've been awful. So I could totally see Ja cooking them tonight. So, yeah, look at that one. Hey, if you're out there, you're looking for a parlay, this might be one you might want to get in on the action right now. Our last parlay for to parlay and not to parlay is back to Jarod's boy LeBron to record 10-plus assists, and one of Jarod's other boys, Damontas Sabonis, to record 12-plus rebounds. The odds on this are plus 425. Now, I do not think this is as likely to happen as what the previous parlay we spoke about. Murph, LeBron might not be hitting the threes, as none of us believed in the parlay 2 parlays ago, but do you like him to get the 10-plus assists? Do you like Sabonis to get these 12-plus rebounds?
Yeah, I'm gonna pass on this one. I don't even like the plus 425 is okay, but under these circumstances, it's a tough call to take that. Sabonis hasn't had 12 rebounds in 5 games. LeBron hasn't had 10 assists in 5 games. Maybe if it were plus, I think even if this were plus 1,000, this would be a tougher decision than that Jokic Morant parlay we just talked about. So I'm staying away from this one.
Staying away from this one. Jarod, you heard the stats from Murph. Neither of these guys have hit the numbers that are being required for them for this parlay in the last 5 games. Could continue the trend, or maybe they're due. What do you say?
Yeah, it's tough. Domas is my guy. And like the thing about rebounds, right? So much of that's an effort thing, right? So you're like, all right, I can trust Domas to go after it. No AD around. Maybe he grabs a lot of boards. No Marc Gasol. And it's not even that LeBron can't get 10-plus assists. I just don't know if his dudes are going to hit shots tonight, right? Like, what if he throws to Kuzma and KCP 6 times for wide open threes? That's 6 assists right there, and they brick them. They brick 4 out of 6. It's like, damn, man, they go 4 assists right there. So now instead of having 10, I got 6 for the night. It's just like it's just a weird thing. And at plus 425 or plus 450, not worth it for me. I'm out.
Yeah, I think you'd like to see that a little bit higher. Brian, I'd probably be a little bit more tantalized by this if this was in the 600 upwards in terms of the odds range. Are you in on this or not?
Yeah, I'm taking this one. Taking this one. With LeBron getting 10-plus assists, that's probably the piece that worries me a little bit more because I'm a little more confident in Domas getting 12 rebounds against the Lakers, who don't have Anthony Davis right now, and who also have Montrezl Harrell. And Montrezl Harrell probably going to play a lot of center minutes. He's going to give up some rebound bonus, could get 12 rebounds in his sleep. LeBron, the 10 assists does concern me a little bit, but plus 425 is good enough for me to actually put some money on it. I'm feel better about this one than the previous bet in terms of it actually happening. So yeah, I would take this one.
Interesting. I actually feel more confident in the previous bet than this one happening. For the reason that Jarod brought up, I don't know if I trust the dudes to make shots. Kyle Kuzma is day to day. Don't know if he's playing tonight. There'll probably be a GTD here, so I don't know. We'll see. But Brian's going to be brave.
Kyle Kuzma ain't swinging me that much one way or the other. I ain't, like.
But he's the one that's getting wide open shots, though.
Yeah,
you got to hit them.
Here's the thing. LeBron's going to have the ball in his hands the whole game. Like he can find 10 assists. That's what it'll come down to for me. He could find 10 assists. It's LeBron James.
All right, we'll see. Remember, if you're wrong, we're gonna bring it back up. We're gonna go back. We can go back and look at the tape. That's for sure. But Brian said it with his chest, just like you said. The Celtics can make it to the finals or the Eastern Conference Finals. Do remember, people. Do remember. All right, guys. Last segment of the night. Keep it 100. The time where Brian does something crazy, and there's gonna be some violence in his bet. I'm gonna start off with you, Murph. $100 tonight. How you gonna spend it?
All right, let's see here. I'm going to start off. I'm going to put 20. I'm going to do 4 $25 bets. I like doing that. I'm going to start off and put that 25 on that parlay we talked about with Jokic and Morant. That'd be a lovely payoff. So let's hope that happens. Hope those guys have big nights so I could buy a little something for myself tonight. That'd be great. I'm going to put 20. I'm going to do an NBA parlay and put 25 on the Lakers minus 4.5. Is it still 4.5?
I can double check, but I believe it's still at 4.5. Yep.
The Lakers minus 4.5. The Heat we talked about also minus 2.5, and I'm going to take Utah minus 13.5 against that terrible Houston squad that they left for Steven Silas. I mean, talk about
did them dirty, man.
Talk about a job that you're supposed to be happy you're a coach and you get that. And Harden wants out. Everybody wants out.
You guys know what the line is in that game, Murph? What did you say?
13.5.
The consensus? No. I just want to tell there's an update to that. The line is now 18.5.
Oh, I'll still take it. Why not?
Jesus.
Wow.
That actually changed. I'll get to that when I talk, but that actually changed the way I was going to bet. I'll explain that later. Yeah, 18.5, Murph. 18.5.
All right, and just because of how bad Houston is, I'm gonna put another 25 just on that game, and say Utah will cover the 18.5. I've never been more confident in an 18.5 spread in my life, and then because it's March Madness, I am going to go over to college basketball for my last $25 and put $25 on Florida State to beat North Carolina, even though North Carolina's playing well, but I think Florida State's the better team. I think Florida State will get it done tonight in the ACC semifinals, where they will play Georgia Tech in the final because, as we talked about, Virginia, one of the teams that already has a COVID situation out of the ACC tournament. So keep an eye on that. Florida State, baby, tonight.
Florida State. Sadly, my Pitt Panthers will not be playing in the tournament, unfortunately. Brian, how are you spending your $100, and what violence should we expect tonight?
I'm splitting it mostly evenly.
Wow.
Mostly evenly. There may or may not be a little.
He gonna wild out. Yeah.
There may or may not be a little wrinkle toward the end of this, but 25 on the Ja Morant, Nikola Jokic, plus 1,000 to get 30 points each that we talked about. 25 on LeBron, 10 assists, Domas, 12 rebounds that we just talked about. 25 on Memphis Grizzlies covering against the Denver Nuggets, although I think they'll just outright win. Almost made a little boo-boo there. 24 on a Jimmy Butler triple-double, and $1 on Joel Embiid. This won't be like violent in terms of scuffle, but Joel Embiid violently giving Mo Wagner and the Washington Wizards 40 tonight.
Oh.
Joe ain't playing tonight. He's still out because of COVID protocol.
He's still out?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's
Okay,
not
so
playing. He's
quit.
gonna return for some-
No fear. Don't worry about it. We rebound. We go back up here. All right. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna do Bradley Beal, 40 points.
I like
40 points tonight against the
it.
Philadelphia Sixers and Ben Simmons. Hopefully he doesn't, because I still think Ben Simmons has a strong decoy case. But I'm gonna pivot and go with Bradley Beal there, and I'll put an extra 50 cents on the scuffle between those two because I would like to see that.
Is Simmons playing tonight?
Simmons ain't playing either, so Bradley definitely gonna score.
It's
40
easy. What?
Yeah.
40. Bradley Beal 40. 40.
40.
What the fuck is going on in Philly with COVID?
They got
40.
the COVID. They got the COVID stuff because of the barber.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yo, man.
Yeah,
Like,
they're hanging out with the college kids.
Listen. This is why you got to check on your barber, son.
Got to,
You got to
man.
make
Got
sure.
to.
You got to make my barber been good. You know.
Well,
Thank the
one of
Lord,
the
you know what
things
I'm
is
saying?
thank God the barber was wearing a mask, which people should learn. Wear your mask; it helps, and that probably helped those dudes from not testing positive. That's the huge thing there.
40.
I'm with you. I like that. I'm gonna get back to that game later. Jarod, how are you spending this 25?
Like everybody else,
100. Sorry, not 20.
I love the Jokic, John Morant prop. So 25 on that. I'm gonna go 25 on a Pelicans and Wizards parlay, both to win tonight. Pelicans, after Stan chewed their ass out for their poor ass defense, and they're playing the Cavs, and the Cavs are playing on the second night of a back-to-back. And the reason why I like the Wizards tonight is because it is the second night of a back-to-back for Philly, and no Simmons and no Embiid. So that's $50 right there. I'm going to do 25 on the over in the Cleveland and New Orleans game because while the Pelicans will win, they still ain't going to guard nobody. And then I love that bet that Brian did Jimmy on triple-double because with no Bam, Jimmy is the team's lead ball handler. And since he's come back, Brian's lifted out his averages. He's like 25, 8, and 9. So, I like triple-double for Jimmy tonight.
All right, good ones. I was glad to hear you talk about the Wizards, Jarod, because I always kind of look for what's the bad team that could get out of their slump or funk or what's a good matchup for them. And, Murph, this is where this applies to you. I was thinking about betting on the Rockets. Yes, that's right. I was thinking about betting on the Rockets. They've lost 14 in a row. It has to end sometime. I was getting a little bit of the vibes from Brian that I shouldn't believe in Utah, and this would be a game where Brian would turn to me and say, see, this is why you shouldn't believe in Utah.
Word.
So I was putting all that in there, and I was going to do it, but the 18.5 is just too much. It's too much for me to touch it, and I damn sure ain't confident enough to pick the Rockets to win this game outright. I am not that confident in that at all whatsoever. So
you don't trust them to come within 18 points?
Nah.
I bet you they do. I might put some money on that. I bet you Houston covers.
I don't know. I'm feeling funny about it, so I pivoted off. But I like the matchup that Jarod brought up with the Wizards and Sixers for the exact reasons Jarod brought up. Sixers on a back-to-back, no Embiid, no Simmons. Brian brought up he thinks Bradley Beal will get buckets. I agree. I like the Wizards in this. I will take the Wizards to win this outright. I think the Wizards got this game. I'll put 25 on that. I also like the Jamal Morant and Jokic parlay. Give me 25 on that as well. Also, give me 25 on the Heat to win outright tonight. I like that. And my last 25, I really was kind of thinking about what I wanted to do with this. Not quite sure. But I'm going to go with, we all liked Memphis. I'm going to go with Memphis to win against the spread and win the cover. I like Memphis covering here. Even if they lose a close game, it'll be really close, probably by 1. But I like them to win. You know what? Fuck it. I'm taking Memphis outright with the last 25. We'll go Memphis outright. I wish I was bold enough to take the Rockets, but nah, can't do it, man. Just can't do it.
I mean, at Utah is never a fun place to play.
Well, for many reasons when you're black.
Yeah, for any team. So the Rockets headed in there. That's looking like a 30-point loss right there.
yeah, bro. Can't trust them. And the spread is that. Like, if it stayed in the range it was at that 13, I would have been tempted. I'd have been a little bit tempted, but everything they're going through, not playing good. Oladipo can't hit anything. Like,
we know why the line dropped. What is there? Somebody not playing?
That's why I was trying to figure
the Rockets would
shift the line, right?
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
Or Oladipo. Those are the only two guys I think that would shift the line that much.
But they still got my man Jay Sean Tate.
Stop
Like,
it.
you know, Jay Sean
Stop
Tate's
it.
been a solid DFS player this season sometimes,
Jay
yo.
Sean Tate. That's
Stop
how
it,
you
man.
know. That's how you know.
Stop
Nah,
it.
this
Like,
ain't it.
yeah, we're getting to that. And look, Murphy's
Hey, it
right.
could be Christian Wood. Is Christian Wood playing? Like,
Oh yeah, Christian Wood. What's going on with him?
He's been out
He's been
though.
out for a minute,
like-
though.
hmm.
He's been out for a minute.
He hasn't come
Wow.
out. He
I was gonna
hasn't
say
come back.
you can
yet,
see how much Rockets we watch on League Pass.
right?
Yeah,
No,
we
because
do.
no,
Yeah,
but
John,
it's,
here it
it's
is.
real though.
Here it is. These are the people who are out.
Yep.
Eric Gordon's out. John Wall's out.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Victor Oladipo is out.
PJ
Tucker.
Daniel House
Never
is
mind.
out.
Never
PJ
mind.
Tucker is out. Christian Wood is out. David Nwaba is out.
who they building a G League team?
Hey, you know what?
It's
It's another easy one for Utah.
18.5.
It's another easy one for Utah. They have the easiest schedule in the NBA so far this season, and they have like one of the easiest schedules moving forward.
They had the
also.
easiest second half of the season. The easiest.
Exit.
Well, they better get that 1 seed to avoid that.
You're gonna be so salty, Brian, when they're in the conference finals.
Yo, prayers to Steven Silas though, because this is
Man,
it is foul. I was gonna
That's
say
wrong.
that, Murph. You're right about that point. It is foul. Like now, he's a good coach. He had a great opportunity, and who's James Harden boy? That's Jarod. That's Jarod's boy.
Jarod. Hey,
Whoa.
James Harden ruined the black coach's career.
Yep.
No, listen. Don't be blame your man Tillman Fertitta. Blame that dude. That's the reason why the Rockets are trash. Blame your boy Tillman.
No love for Utah. No love for Tillman Fertitta. No love for Boston. And nobody believes in the Clips. That is NBA picks and props. That is what we bring to you. Last chance. I see there's some people still on here. If you have any questions, comments, we'll take them really quick before we get out of here and enjoy the Friday night. I know I got a couple of bottles of wine to enjoy because it's been a long week. That is for sure. And cold weather's coming, which is not fun at all. Anything you guys really looking forward to more in the second half of the season? Because I think there's a lot to look at in terms of the trade deadline. Who can make a buyout?
That's what I'm looking at. Who makes a move, right? Like because so many teams like need like again we said Brian and I are very high on this. If Kyle goes to the Clippers, because here's the thing, he now gets them into their offense, and you don't gotta now Paul and Kawhi, y'all just do what y'all do. Just score the ball. Kyle got all the rest of that stuff. He'll get you in the offense. He'll draw charge. He'll do all that shit that doesn't show up in the box stats. I hate that phrase, but it's true. That actually leads to winning, right? Like Kyle does that.
Now I'm also not sure how much sense it makes for Toronto necessarily because I don't know how much they're getting. I don't know how much they're getting back. Like, are you getting back Terrence Mann? Also, is that enough? Because you're gonna need like Beverly and Lou Williams contracts sort of to make this work. Like, it's gonna be tricky. You might need a third team, but if they could somehow facilitate that, that's the piece that would allow me to be like, all right, the Clippers could actually get to the NBA Finals, because until then, I just need to see it, because even so, they still have their limitations. Like, they need that playmaker. As much as Patrick Beverly is a part of that team functionally, like, he's just not a playmaker. He's never really been that kind of dude. He's kind of a 3-and-D guy just locked into a point guard's body, and that's where he's been throughout the duration of his career. The guys that I'm looking at now
ain't even that good.
Right. And the guys that I'm looking at now, it's Andre Drummond, it's LaMarcus Aldridge, though I'm not sure how good he still is, and PJ Tucker, I question how much he still has left. But the teams that are interested in him, Lakers, Bucks, Heat, and there was one other, the Nets. Those all make sense to me in terms of where PJ Tucker should go. And I think he would be very impactful in Miami in particular because of the need for him. I think if I were him, I'd be looking at Brooklyn and LA like, yo, son, in Brooklyn, I don't have to score. And I don't want to score anyway. I just want to come in, defend, play rebound and stuff like that. That might
you might get one wide open butt naked 3 a game. You just got to hit that.
That's really what it comes
and with
down.
the Nets, they got nothing but wide open threes.
Right.
Right.
But yeah, I think Drummond's the one for me. That's the piece I'm waiting for. Not that I'm not in love with Drummond in his game. I don't even know how big a factor he'd be, but probably a decent one. I mean, that's 13 rebounds a game right there that he's capable of, and he's probably a better offensive player than we give him credit for. I'm not sure about the winner factor, but when you got winners around you, it makes things easier. So I think that's a big piece. We don't, Cleveland, they haven't bought him out yet. We don't know what's going to go on there. And if they do, where does he go? There are people talking about the Nets getting him, which would be crazy.
That's crazy. Adam Silver will have to step in if that shit happens. That's too much. That's too fucking.
Adam be like, yo, Kevin, man, you gotta stop recruiting these motherfuckers coming.
Man,
this is
that would
crazy.
be too
you
crazy.
Stop wilding out.
That would be too. Here's the thing, too. Like, Andre Drummond, like, I fear that he's gonna be the next dude that we're gonna hear Danny Ainge like, yo, we almost did it. You know what I'm saying? Like, we almost got it. And it's like, yo, son, you have the trade exception. Like, there's no excuse for the Celtics not to leave this trade deadline without Andre Drummond or LaMarcus Aldridge. No fucking excuse.
Brian, I agree. If they do not use the trade exception, it would be probably one of the dumbest things in NBA history. You got to use this trade exception, even if it's to get you a rental player. You have it. You can go get Drummond. They need a big in there. I don't want to hear any more from Danny Ainge in these almost awards. Why are people even leaking that stuff?
Because
we were in on hard.
You know how many bodies he probably almost had in high school, yo, that he still brags to his friends about? I almost got this chick. I almost got this. Danny Ainge is that dude, son.
It's the sycophant Boston media that likes to cape for Danny, right? And that's what they do. It's like, nah, you ain't almost get shit. All right, you got who you got.
I hated Danny Ainge when he played for sure with the Celtics. He was a jerk, but I gotta say he might be a real dude. I caught him a couple years ago on the train on a 4 train in Brooklyn, just riding the train. Nobody knew who he was. This dude Danny Ainge chilling on the train on his way to Barclays for the ACC tournament. This is like when Tatum was at Duke. So yeah, he's a real one for that. I'll give him that.
Well, I'm sorry, he's right. He's right. What train line was he riding?
It was the 4.
He's riding the 4?
Yeah.
Okay. My man's going through Crown Heights.
Okay. Danny, I might give you a little for that.
I'm just saying. I'm like,
Danny said he wants to smoke. Look, here's the thing, right? At some point, Danny, you got to stop living off the. Remember that time I fleeced the Nets and got all the draft picks? Yeah. We remember. They turned into Tatum and Brown. Cool. But at some point, what's up? Like, what you gonna do with that?
I mean, here's the thing: fleece the Nets, got them draft picks, and the Nets are better than them now.
That's true.
It's funny how some of this happens. One last team I'll go because I had this conversation with a friend of mine before we leave out of here. And this is for you a lot, Jarod, because we've had a lot of conversations about this. But is there any belief in the way the Bucks are moving that they can do anything? Can they get out of the conference? Can they do this year? Do they have any chance? With the way they're playing, they've been trying a lot of new stuff offensively, but does anybody believe in them? Because I don't.
Look, it's with the Bucks, and I got something special for us as we go. With the Bucks, I think, look, it's all gonna be matchup dependent, right? If they get, Philly in the conference semis, that might be too much for them, right? That might mess them up. But if they don't, hey, they might get the cakewalk to the conference finals. It's so matchup dependent for them. And ultimately, still, we know how to defend them, right? If Bud is going to make Giannis still be a wing initiator, that is a problem because defenses know what to do. Man, wall off that paint, give him all them mid-range jumpers and threes that he wants. Shoot the hell out of that ball because we know they ain't going in. So whatever. Like that's the defensive matchup. And then it comes down to, all right, is Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton going to be better than who your next best 2 guys are? In some series, they will be. They damn sure won't be against Brooklyn. So,
right. I'm sorry, Murph. I was just saying they also. I don't think they'd also be good against Brian's team.
We saw that last year.
And it could very well happen again. That's all I'm saying. Go ahead.
That's what I was gonna say.
I like the pieces they have this year compared. They're a better team than they were last year.
They are better
in terms of pieces. But the problem is there's other teams that got better too.
Right.
So and particularly the Brooklyn Nets. So if you're in the East, boy, you're gonna have to come hard or just hope for injury to get by the Nets.
That's the thing, right? The top half of the East, as much as it's like the East still the East. Yo, like you got to get through the Nets, the Sixers, or the Bucks. I mean, that ain't a cakewalk. Like that's and. As much as I rail on fuck the C's, like, yo, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum can win you games because we've seen Jason Tatum do that shit. And Brian's Miami Heat, fourth easiest schedule coming in second half of the season. They already been proven going to the finals last year, so it ain't gonna be no cakewalk. I do have a. Sorry, Brian, go ahead.
Those are the top. I was just gonna say those are the top 5 teams in the East, and I'm not sure if I would make Milwaukee a favorite against any of them right now, except for Boston,
I
probably.
happen to
But
agree.
that's really it.
I
Yeah,
happen to
man,
agree.
it's tough, right? Because the blueprint's out. We know what Milwaukee's gonna do. We got them figured out. Yo, here's a quick entertainment bet for you guys. So y'all saw the news, right? A-Rod and that chick from that Southern Charm show and the DMs leaked, but he made her sign an NDA so she can't talk about it. But you talked about the NDA, which means J-Lo knows about the NDA. So how soon they on break up, and when they break up, is J-Lo and Diddy gonna get back together? Oh yeah, bringing it back, baby.
Or actually,
Yeah, I think it already happened. I think they broke up.
Wait, what was said in the conversation?
I mean, you know, A-Rod, some wild shit. Obviously, you know, he was wild.
He was like, "Yo, you trying to juice with me?" I don't know.
You know, he was wild in them DMs. So
Yo.
So it doesn't even matter what if they get out, because J-Lo knows he had her sign an NDA. So it's already problematic.
Would Diddy have the odds there over the homie Mark Anthony, or what?
Ooh, because she's like, you know what? Let's get back together with the father of my kids.
That was probably her best relationship.
Yeah, but what set the city on fire though was J-Lo and Diddy. That was New York City was wild when J-Lo and Diddy was running that.
Yeah, that was around. Yeah, Jay-Z was stabbing motherfuckers with that.
Yo,
allegedly.
What's disappointing to me here is, like, I didn't even know the engagement was called off, and like I like.
Wait, did it actually happen? Did it get called off?
Yeah. This has been reported by multiple places. USA Today, New York Post first had it. Page 6 is gonna be all over that. E News has it. People Magazine. So their 2-year engagement. They've now split. I like them as a couple.
I did too.
Brian and I were rooting for A-Rod and his ownership group to buy the Nets, although we're happy with what
Hey,
happened.
Steve
now,
Cohen's wife is Puerto Rican. We here.
Yeah. But we want to see some Latino love out there front and center for the people to see. Man. But I mean, you gotta stay
Mark
out
Anthony, baby.
Lesson here, people. Stay out them DMs, man.
Even if you have her sign an NDA, she gonna talk about the fucking NDA. See, he should have said, "Hey, yo, you cannot talk about the NDA." Like that's like.
So you gotta have an NDA for the NDA. Like, yeah. All right.
A-Rod's stupider than Cuomo, man. That's all man, come on. You can't keep it on the low. Like, what's wrong with you, man?
See what I'm saying? Come on, son.
And you got J-Lo, which is a whole other story. We tell you ain't really about like having something that's bad. J-Lo and all that. It's really more about the power and that people have felt all the time off of it. That's why these things go down. It's not power. But these guys feel off of that. Because, when you got this money into access, I would imagine it feels pretty powerful. And people abuse power.
Listen, A-Rod's hit list is something ridiculous. Yo, that dude slayed many.
He still ain't messing with Jeter.
Oh, I mean, that dude, he a whole different kind of legend.
He's trying to catch Jeter. Still,
Jeter a whole different kind of legend.
But that's probably what bothers him, and he probably.
I know he's on a lifelong mission.
Because you know why? Because he literally because I mean, let's all keep this 1,000 right now. A-Rod's the better baseball player. We all know this.
Yeah.
Everyone knows this. But it didn't matter because we're like, you ain't better than Jeter though. And you ain't better than him at keeping your stuff on the low. See? Yeah, you're right. That's messing him up in his head. Messed up.
Taking L's in different forms of life and still might not get in the Hall of Fame. Who knows?
Damn.
All right. I'm just saying he's a Hall of Famer in my eyes, but
he is.
People be hating. All right, well, he's got a lot more things to worry about than that. Jarod, we appreciate the entertainment news. But now because we're gonna look at it might be NBA picks and props, but we're gonna look for some odds on who J-Lo or A-Rod might pick next, or who A-Rod might have signed an NDA next. Like, is he like? I wonder if he like trying to cover the tracks and make other people sign NDA. I don't know.
I mean, at this point, since J-Lo's over, he's like, forget it. Don't matter now. Whatever.
Don't matter. It's whatever. All right. Yeah. And we got a little entertainment news on NBA picks and props. Thanks to Jarod, who's dabbled a lot in this world. Thank you guys for rocking with us on this edition of NBA picks and props. We'll be here next Friday evening at 6 p.m. to talk more about the world of basketball and betting. Be safe. Spend your money wisely. Don't do any ridiculous things and bet on violence like Brian would. You don't have to go out that way. Or don't do anything ridiculous like A-Rod would. You don't got to go out that way either. You don't have to do that. All right, guys. For my man Jarod Hector, for Bryan Fonseca, for the great Jamal Murphy, Until next time, y'all, for NBA picks and props. Peace.